So, hey guys, Chauzu here. So we got the announcement yesterday about the continuation of the Fearsome Foes campaign, which to me, big thumbs up. I'd rather take that than the predicted Egghead badge any day of the week. Still a bit surprising though, since there's been some Egghead stuff they could have made stuff for, and with Annie coming, it's going to be pretty clogged up. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Shout outs to Brandon for posting these as always on their subreddit Discord server. But yeah, let's go through the new legends. We have 2 new duo legends, which I always appreciate. The first one is Doffy and Sugar, Quick and Int. Very bizarre unit, like Sugar is not the one you'd think to do a duo with Doffy with, but I guess it's the 2 most popular characters from that crew, so makes sense in that aspect. I'm still waiting for the Doffy versus Corazon unit. We'll see if that ever happens. I think that would be really cool. But yeah, this is a Driven and Cerebral legend, and this batch has a weird gimmick where they want you to apply as many stuff to the enemy as possible to get stronger effects. Like, sure, but pretty weird, but they built around that, so I guess it's interesting to try something new, even if I don't think it's going to be really successful. Duo captain ability, -1 CD for Driven and Cerebral, 1.2 times HP. If you have empty orb, G orb or matching orb, you get a 6 times attack boost. I don't think they have anything in their kit to get G orbs. Will have been cool though. Otherwise 5.25 times attack. Quick in slots, matching slot effects. You get a bit of heal every time you hit a perfect. 20% damage reduction, reduce special bind by 10 turns. And yeah, special bind reduction is the big thing in this captain ability. And yeah, second Doffy legend to have this, so a bit of his thing right now. There's other things in this unit that makes you remember older Doffy legends, mainly. Not a lot of sugar stuff, I'd say though. Special, reduce the duration of barriers by 3 turns. And then you have the effect where you can do extra damage to the enemy based on how much damage you did in the previous turn. It's just 1 time though, so it's not going to be a big amount. V2 Doffy also has this, but he has the strongest variant of it. It's like 2.5 times, I think. So just a bonus, really, not going to add a lot of damage, really. The main thing with this unit is that they are a color affinity booster for Driven and Cerebral, and they can get up to a 3 times color affinity boost, which is pretty insane. But the condition is that you need to have applied 8 or more effects on the enemy to get that 8 times color affinity boost. The guarantee is a 2.25 times color affinity, up to a 3 times, and of course 3 times is pretty insane. We'll talk more about this after we looked at Moria Perona, the second legend as well. If Captain is Driven or Cerebral, you also apply Weakened to the enemy, which pairs well with increased damage taken. And yeah, not much else to say, like not a lot of utility. Basically a color affinity applier that can remove barrier and also apply Weakened if the enemy allows it, so okay. Not much to say yet, like if you get a 3 times color affinity, that's obviously strong. Moving on. Sailor, Quick Int matching, fine. Some extra space dash to ruin Cerebral, fine. The potential abilities are pinch healing, critical hit, a bad critical hit, reduce special limit, which is always nice to have. Swap, completely removes characters to spear, which is always so bad. It only matters if they only despair 1 slot, which is pretty rare. Otherwise, you need 2 captains to have a swap that removes the spear, or a super that removes the spear, which is also very rare. So most of the time that won't really help. Changes character slot including block to matching, applies increased damage taken to all enemies 1.25 times for 1 turn, and reduces all enemies attack by 20%. So yeah, this basically means that they have the combination to both apply increased damage taken and apply weaken, so a bit like the most recent Bonnie Legend in that aspect. If you get the super swap, not only do you apply increased damage taken, but you also ignore full immunity, so that's very nice, 1.75 times. Sadly, the weakened can't ignore full immunity, otherwise this unit will be pretty cracked, I'd say. You also get a 50% attack down with the super swap. As for PvP, not much to say. If you're interested, you can just read the text there. Looks like complete garbage, in my opinion. Let's move on to Moria and Perona. Also driven, cerebral, and quick int. And they also give -1 series driven cerebral, 1.3 times HP, 5 times attack. And basically their unique thing is that if you apply increased damage taken, or delay, or poison, or death down, or paralysis, or ignite, or negative, so that's 7 different ones, you get an extra 1.004 times attack boost per debuff applied, which isn't a big deal. Like, this is only really noticeable if you add almost all of them, and as you can see, if you manage to add all 7, you can get a 6.579 times attack boost, which is the second highest in the game. Second highest is Nami Robin. Are they still the highest? I need to double check that. We'll do that another time, but yeah, one of the strongest in the game at least. Otherwise, the cap right now is around 6 times attack. So that's obviously cracked. It's just that will never happen in reality. And if that can happen in reality, eventually it will be by the time that 6.5 times attack is pretty much outdated, I presume. Also makes recovery tandem slots have matching slot effects, which is always a nice bonus. But yeah, since you're never going to get that absurdly high 6.5 times attack, you're more likely getting a bit over 5 times attack, probably less than 5.5 times. Yeah, not worth it at all to use them as captain. Special HP cut. You also get a 1-turn attack boost for Driven and Cerebral, and this is the same thing as Doffy and Sugar, where, well, at least the base is a bit higher with 2.5 times attack boost, and it maxes out at a 3.25 times attack boost, which is not as noticeable as a 3 times Call Affinity boost. That's a bit more common to have a 3.25 times attack boost. Otherwise, you also remove Bind Burns. That's a bit more useful. And you also have the conditional to increase damage taken or negative. And they'll be able to apply negative themselves with their swap. They also apply paralysis, which does not go through full immunity, by the way. And that's mainly just to add to their captain ability. Sailor, they make driven recovery matching for recover tandem match for driven cerebral subs as well. They also give base stats for driven cerebral. Their potential abilities are recovery bind. Is that one of the HP debuffs, the new ones? Probably that green one. I don't know the name. It's pretty irrelevant. And you reduce limit special uses. So yeah, we know what's going to be in the next Pirate King adventures with. Limit special uses have been very common in PKA nowadays, and an annoying mechanic in general to deal with. Their swap, they apply negative to all enemies, and negatives reduces their attack and defense by 20%. You also apply a minus 50% driven and cerebral resistance to all enemies, and do a bit of healing at end of turn. Super swap gives you negative, ignoring full immunity, which is great, of course, since you can get the conditional with your special. You also get a bit higher resistance applied and a bit bigger heal. But yeah, super swap is mainly important to get the guaranteed negative, and get the guaranteed conditional with your special. See, obviously these two work well together since you got the attack boost color affinity. They both apply stuff to the enemy, so you can get higher multipliers both in captain and with specials. And obviously Doffy and Sugar has the increased damage taken side, also weakened, and this one gives a conditional to that. So yeah, pretty dope. Definitely filler stuff, nothing you need to pull. But yeah, will be fun to own in the future when you eventually pull them. These ones are also pretty ass in PvP, so I'll leave it there for you to check. One thing I want to talk about before we quickly move on and check the other stuff. One cool thing with these is that, except for the captain ability just mentions status effects, but for the special, it doesn't matter what you apply to the enemy, it counts. And we have one incredible support that will work very well with these units, which is the Vivi support, which applies resistance to 5 different colors, and that's 5 different effects applied at once. And resistances are not affected by the full immunity checks. You can always apply this. So that means with just Vivi support, you apply 5 of the 8 stuff you need. And if you're going for a high damage team, you will naturally add a few more by yourselves. So yeah, Vivi support will be pretty cracked with these. Also something like the support Queen that has the same effect, but a bit harder to use, of course. And just anything involving resistance will be nice, since you can always apply them, and there's a lot of stuff that lets you add at least 2 different ones at once. Just a quick look at Rare Recruit. I love the idea of adding new units for obscure characters like this, like Hodin and Vanderdecken. Very cool. These are pretty cool as well. We want to talk to a lot about their effects. Most notable thing with Hody is that he can reduce the switch effect with his special by 2 turns for Driven and Powerhouse, so this is very cool. He can also reduce defense, ignoring full immunity, which is really cool. And he has a cool support as well for Driven, where you can hold enemy's defense for 3 turns. Cerebro has a support like this, and now also Driven has it, so I'm a fan. Monet and Caesar also got a unit. Cool support for Doffy, Virgo, and Sugar, where you can remove 1 turn of paralysis from the enemy when it gets applied to you. And you can also poison enemies while doing this, so pretty cool bonus effect. And they also have the ability to delay to full immunity, which is very, very rare for rare recruits, and pretty sure this is the first rare recruit that can delay to full immunity with no condition at all. So, well, the condition is Driven, but that's a pretty forgiving condition, not like the rare recruit Usopp, which needs to be below 10% HP or something. The free-to-play PK unit will be Lucci, Kaku, and Stassi. Honestly, don't even want to talk about them. They look total ass as well. They better improve them a lot when they get their 5+ variant, because they are just bad. Here's the text if you want to read them. I'll probably talk about them in the future instead. But yeah, that's what we got to expect in the future. So yeah, that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.